In this video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to keep your lawn green throughout the summer heat. Let's get out of the weeds. One of the biggest struggles with cool season grass is keeping our lawns looking good throughout the summer. With cool season grass, when the temperatures start to get consistently above 85 degrees or so, your lawns are really going to start to struggle, and without adequate water are going to go into summer dormancy. But there is good news, is that it is possible to maintain a green lawn throughout the summer even when you're getting very little water. It's just important to follow a few simple steps, and no matter what the weather brings you, you should still be able to keep your lawn green. First, let's go over some best practices with watering our lawns in general. Typically, our cool season lawns are going to need between 1 inch to 1.5 inches of water every week to get the adequate water they need and to stay green. So what I would typically recommend is whenever it starts getting into the season and our lawns start needing water because it's no longer getting all the rain help from the spring, is that we water about 3 times a week, getting about 1/2 inch of water down each and every time. This is going to ensure that your lawn gets the adequate water it needs and keep it looking its best. So what will happen in the spring is a lot of times we will get a lot more rain, so sometimes you may even go weeks where you don't even have to water, or you can cut back to maybe only watering once a week depending on how much rain help you're getting. But when we get into summer, that's not going to be the case because temperatures are going to rise, and a lot of times we're going to start getting a lot less water than what we were in the spring. So couple the high temperatures with the lack of water from Mother Nature, it means that we're going to have to water a lot more. And so instead of kind of going from that inch, you're probably going to want to be more on kind of the side of the 1.5 inches or so, or maybe even a little more, depending the how extreme your weather is getting. So what I would always typically do when I had an irrigation system is I would typically set it to run like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and just kind of schedule it for 3 times a week. And then if it was going to rain, make sure that the system wasn't running so it wasn't getting too much water. But I would just get in a routine schedule. Now when it came into the summer, I would always have to ramp it up. The first question is, how do you know how to get 1/2 inch of water each and every time you're watering? Well, the easiest way to do is to get a little rain gauge, and you can see here it'll just mark it out. You can just sit these down in whatever zone, whatever area in your yard you're wanting to water. Sit a couple of these out in different areas, let your sprinkler run for 10 or 15 minutes, just pick a time, and then afterwards check and see how high the water level is. So I have my sprinkler over here, and I have my rain gauge sitting down in the zone that I'm wanting to check. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sprinkler run for about 15 minutes, and after that time is done, I'm going to measure and see where the water's at, and then know how to make my adjustments according to that. So you can see it's just under 1/4 inch of water. So now that was me running one sprinkler for 15 minutes. It got me just under 1/4 inch of water. So in order for me to get 1/2 inch down, I'd have to do just a little bit more than double the time that I ran there. So now say I bumped it to 30 minutes, that would get me just under that 1/2 inch mark. So what I may do then to try to make sure I get that at least 1/2 inch of water, I'll probably bump it to about 35 minutes, and I know that in those spots there, I would get 1/2 inch of water. So now if you have down 3 or 4 of these rain gauges kind of in the zone that you're checking, then you're going to want to kind of see where they all stand and make adjustments accordingly. But that's the way to accurately measure how much water you're getting. So that way each and every time you water, you can essentially set it and forget it. So once you make sure your lawn is getting the adequate water, the next thing to do is just to kind of get on your schedule and start going throughout the season. Now, when you start getting into your summer months like we are now, the thing you're going to want to keep a lookout is how does your lawn look? Whenever your lawn is struggling and starting to need more water, you're going to start kind of seeing almost like a gray or darker tone throughout your lawn before it actually turns brown on you. those are kind of your warning signs. If your regular schedule, you got your schedule down, everywhere's getting your ½ inch 3 times a week, your lawn's looking good. Now you start getting into summer and you start seeing some of these different areas. Now it's probably not going to be your whole lawn, but it's probably going to be certain spots in that are going to need a little more care. You're going to start seeing that discoloration before your lawn actually turns brown. This is the time that you want to catch it. When you start seeing that discoloration, this is when you're going to have to ramp up your water a little bit whenever we're in the summer months. So there's a couple different things that you could do then. You could either just spot spray, maybe even with a hose, water that area down, give that area that's struggling a little bit more extra attention. Or you may even think, hey, you know what, the whole lawn in general isn't really doing that well right now, so maybe you need to bump it up an extra time a day until we can get a little bit of relief, either from rain help or temperatures decreasing a little bit. It's really important to stay on top of it in the summer months because your lawn can go dormant very, very quickly. Once it goes dormant, then it can be a fight to try to get it back. What you're typically going to want to do if you do let a spot of your lawn go dormant and you don't want it to be, is that you're going to have to probably water it 5-6 days in a row or so to really try to get that grass to work back and turn back green so that you can keep it rolling again. Now, if you don't want to do all this with watering, you can just let your lawn go dormant, and then in the fall, you can go and your lawn will wake back up and it can look good. So if you don't want to go through all this, you can definitely go the route of, hey, you know what? I don't want to keep up with all this. Let's just let it go dormant and we'll attack it into the fall. Now, I did a video here a couple years ago back at my other house talking literally about this specific spot in my yard that would always be the first one to really try to go dormant on me. And so it's a really good video to kind of show you, hey, this is what it looks like when it's about to go, and here's what it looks like trying to get it recovered. And so there's always going to be a spot or so in your yard that you're going to always struggle with. Maybe the grass roots aren't as deep. Maybe there's rocks underneath of it. Like, there could be a lot of different things going on there that cause certain spots to try to go dormant before others. The good news is, as we get later into the year and the temperatures start to drop, we'll be in a much better spot to let our lawns thrive and really start to attack your lawns. Kind of the overall theme with cool season grass is during the summer, you just want to kind of limp your lawn along. You don't want to be too aggressive with trying to dump tons of fertilizer and really push your lawn, because your lawn is really just trying to survive at this point. And so whenever you want to just make it through the summer, get into the fall and start attacking it then. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time when we get out of the weeds into a beautiful lawn.